Hey everyone, how you going? Nice to see you again.
Hi. In this episode,
we're going to be staying in some pub camps. So we thought that we might do something a little bit different this time.
A little bit on pub etiquette.
Give you a little bit of education. So, we know a lot of people are not real confident at staying at pub camps, may never have done it, and just unsure of the rules. So we've got...
I'm not a big drinker.
Yeah, so... and I like a wine.
She likes the wine, yeah.
But, I mean, we're at a pub now, we've just bought a soft drink. But anyway, we're going to go through the rules. We're going to stay at a few places and show you the pros and the cons.
We're not pub crawl experts, but we've seen a few. We've stayed at
close
nearly
100 pub camps in our time.
All over Australia.
So yeah, even though we're not experts, we're pretty comfortable with pub camps. So that's all for now. Cheers.
Cheers.
And we'll see you in the pub.
See you soon.
So the first pub that we're going to show you is the Pretty Pine Hotel. Now it's just north of Deniliquin on the way to Hay, and it's a pub camp with camping in the backyard. Unusual, this one, in that it even has one power box. So if you're lucky, you might get that one. So rule number one, the first thing you do when you arrive at a pub camp is to go inside and speak to the publican or the person on the bar and ask permission if it's okay to camp out the back. This is usually fine, but an example today, they've had an awful lot of rain here, and so when we asked if we could camp, just checking that the grounds weren't too soft for the caravan, and everything was fine. So you can see there's still water laying on the side of the road. But when we checked in and asked if it was okay to camp here, apparently, see that fire bin or the garbage bin? The water was that high just last week. So thankfully it's got away pretty well and the site is dry. There is a generator which runs most of the time. That doesn't bother us, so we have stayed here before and slept through it. But you know, they're the little things that you put up with because it's good of the proprietors to let you stay here. And the next rule is always buy at least one or several drinks. So we've ordered dinner, starting with some wings, and there's a pizza coming. What's that like?
Saucy.
And here's our pizza. I don't know what it was. We ordered a supreme with just a bit of meat. You could order whatever toppings you like to make it yourself, pretty much. Very nice. Just walking back from dinner, and we've just missed the sunset behind the Pretty Pine Hotel. Well, that was great, the Pretty Pine Hotel pub camp. I suppose the thing that you need to be prepared for is that a free pub camp is not free. No, you need to be prepared. You need. We always budget for around $80. That's 2 meals, a couple of drinks. It's sometimes cheaper, but it's sometimes a lot more as well. It might be cheaper if you just have a pizza and 2 drinks. But the likes of last night, we just had pizza. But because it was so hot and the aircon was in the pub, we hung around even beforehand just having soft drinks. So, you know, it's all part of the atmosphere, so part of the pub camp. So just be prepared for that you never think you're going to have a free camp. In saying that though, don't think that you have to spend $80. Non-drinkers worry about staying at pub camps, and as we said, we've been drinking soft drinks in the pub. As if you're a non-drinker, still visit the pub. So before we go on to the next one, we're going to go through some of the different types of pub camps.
The Country Pub Camping website and Facebook page are valuable sources of information for the country pubs.
We use them.
Support it heavily.
Yeah, we're active members with Country Pub Camping, so
so there's a couple of different types of pub camping. There's pub camping which is, you know, on their property,
in their backyard,
yeah,
or yep. And they're the ones where you definitely support. The criteria for the Country Pub Camping website and Facebook page that we're talking about is that the campsite is within 1 kilometre from a pub. So if that's a campground, that's a council-run campground or something, it still fits the criteria, but you're not as obliged to eat or drink at the pub, unless you want to, of course.
Yep. Some pubs are a little bit further, but they've got a courtesy bus. Yeah, I'm thinking of Cambo.
Yeah, and they go and pick you up from the river. So, yeah, you know, it's always great to support the pubs in these little towns regardless, but just saying you don't have to feel obliged if you're staying at that sort of pub camp. But then again, there's the other sort of pub camp, which is on the pub's property, and then they've got enough area that they've created next door like a little caravan park, and they charge per site. So if we stay there, we generally gauge the pricing of what you've paid for the site. Sometimes it's a nominal amount and it might just be $10, but then that gets reimbursed off anything you buy at the pub. I don't blame them for doing that because, you know, a lot of people stay for free, and that's not the idea of it. So $10 charge and get reimbursed off your meal, that's a good idea. But some of them can be up to $20, $30 to stay in the grounds of the pub. And if that's the case, because it's getting up close to, you know, showground or caravan fees, we go to the pub if we feel like going to the pub. So there's 3 different types there of pub camping. Of course, the one that we're most passionate about is the one like Pretty Pie, where you stay in their backyard, you go and have a great time in the pub, and spend up.
Talk to the locals.
Yeah, you learn a lot about the town and the locals and what's going on. So, all right, we're going to head off to our next one. We've arrived at our next camp, and Glenn's just going in to ask if it's okay if we can camp around the back. So this is the backyard here at the Grong, and we're the only ones here. So when we arrived this afternoon and Glenn went in to ask permission, he couldn't get in. They were closed. They didn't open till 2 p.m. But this sign here clearly says caravans welcome. So we've parked out the back and now we've come up for dinner.
Steak night.
Steak night
The Groggy Pub.
We've spoken to a lot of locals, but they're all very shy. They don't want to talk.
Have a go at the t-shirt.
So we'll have to tell you the Groggy story later.
Well, that was a good meal, and we've spoken to a lot of locals. It was a bit shy.
It was steak night. We got a really good feed for steak night, $22. Yeah, porterhouse, really nice. But yeah, Glenn was saying, spoken to a lot of locals, and they're shy.
Don't want to be on camera.
About the story of the Groggy Hotel or the Groggy Pub.
Yeah.
So, what's the story, Glenn?
Community basically got together, and there were 6 that organised it initially, and they
because it was going to close down.
Yeah, because it was going to close down.
Going to close down in 2020. So the community got together.
Yeah, and they wanted to raise $500,000.
Yep.
And have like a $5,000 share in the pub.
And they ended up getting 169 shareholders.
And they raised about $1 million.
To buy the pub. That was they took over in 2021, Christmas Eve, they said, 2021. they refurbished. So they did a lot of work inside. Looks really nice now. There's now got new managers in who are
4 months into it,
managing the place for them. Yeah, so really good community spirit, really good feed, and one to definitely add to your list if you're in the area.
hope it all succeeds.
Yeah. Well, that was a good stop at the Grong Grong pub. We're off to our next stop now, Maru. All right, thanks Grong Grong pub. We've called into the little town of Beckham because there's another camp here. This is an area here, just a small area for probably 2 or 3 vans that you can park, and it's across the road from the pub. It's a council park, so it's one of those camps we were talking about that you may not feel obliged. So this is the Beckham Hotel, beautiful old hotel, and the campground's across the road that I've just shown you. This pub doesn't have meals, so if you are staying here, it's only open for drinks from about 4 PM I think, so a few drinks would be grateful. This one's a bit close to my heart. My great-grandfather built this pub, so we stay here quite regularly, just, I don't know, old time's sake. Not that I remember it, but still, yeah, it's a bit special to me. So we won't be staying here at Beckham tonight. It's only a few k's to Maru. We've arrived at the next pub camp. This one's Maru in New South Wales. It's a great setup. They've got powered and unpowered sites. You see they've got locks on them. We've only just arrived. So if you want power over at the pub, pay your $10 and get a key to unlock the power box. Pub is just directly across the road over there. So the community cashed in for the keys. Yeah, the campground here at Maru has a dump point, potable water, and pretty artwork. There is also a communal fire pit here, which is nice. We've used this after dinner in the winter. Come back to the fire. And there's an amenities block as well. It's a donation for a hot shower. So when you stay at a pub camp, it's not all about doing dinner and drinks. We're actually going to do lunch and drinks. We've arrived here at lunchtime, so it's still supporting the pub, no matter what time of the day. So we've got the dining room to ourselves for lunch. Not a soul in the pub. So we've just finished our yummy burger at the Maru Hotel, and we've come for a short drive to the town of Area Park to show you another pub camp. This is the Area Park camping area, with not a pub to be seen. It's a few streets away. So the Area Park campground is like a typical campground with its own little camp kitchen. It's $15 a night here for a powered site, or $8 unpowered.
This park meets the criteria of country pub camping because it's proximity to the hotel, but
The 1 kilometre rule.
yeah, 1 kilometre rule. But it's more about the community, this one.
So support the community, buy from the shops in town,
And have lunch at the pub.
and also visit the pub, yeah.
Yeah.
Now this is a beautiful old hotel. This is the Area Park Hotel, a few streets away from the campground. It's open for lunch and dinner. So my great-grandfather also has strong ties to Area Park. He had the original hotel before it burnt down, then this one was built, and he was one of the high-standing members of the community of Area Park in the early 1900s. Now Maru is home to the silo kick. So every October they have a bit of a fun competition, kicking the footy over the silo. So it's always the second Saturday in October. They get quite a crowd. That campground's full. You've got all the winners listed down the bottom. notice in 2020 and 2021, COVID-19 was the winner, unfortunately. And they've even got a mini silo here for the kids. So the kids can kick over that silo while Dad kicks over this one.
We've moved on to our next camp. This one is one of the most frequented ones that we tend to visit.
It's one of those ones like Area Park where it's a few streets to the pub, so you don't need to be obliged to visit the pub.
To frequent the pub, yeah.
And to be honest, it's too hot today and too hot the last few days. We've actually been grateful for those few pub camps we've stayed at the last few days that have had power.
Power, yeah.
Because we're in a heat wave. It's 41 today. So, yeah.
Damn hot.
Yeah. So I don't think we're going to walk over to the pub today. And
unless it's for ice cream for dessert.
Well, you could be right there.
Yeah.
So what we've tried to do, we've tried to explain to you the differences between the different styles of pub camps. So obviously the ones when you're camping in their backyard, that's a must to visit the pub. And then
because they've got to pay insurance on us in case we trip over something.
That's right, but it's just good of them, you know. It's like staying with friends. And you do get to meet the locals and chat with the owners, and yeah, it's great. The other types of pub camps we've explained as well. So the ones where you go and ask permission is where you're camping on their property. Not necessarily the other ones. You'd noticed at Grong Grong they weren't actually open, but there was a sign that said campers welcome. So, you know, that's enough to say, you know, we can camp around the back.
Yeah, especially if they do open late, like Grong Grong was 2 o'clock opening.
And the one we showed you at Beckham, I mean, they don't open till 4, but that's one of the ones where it's a council park across the road, so anyone can camp there anyway. So there's a lot of discretionary rules, I suppose, with pub camping.
Common sense. But it's not that common.
The common sense is if you're camping on their property, spend some money there. That's common sense, basically. That's what it comes down to. And the others are just supporting the community. Make sure you spend money in the town and supporting our small towns. So we hope, you know, those that have been a bit scared to try pub camping, I know there's a lot of you, might give it a go.
Yeah, you don't have to be big drinkers to...
No, like Glenn drinks Coke.
Yeah.
And we still spend...
I'm okay.
No, he's a Coke drinker, but he loves his food.
Yeah.
And yeah, you don't have to spend big, even if you don't eat there. Some people have dietary conditions as well. But you know, a few soft drinks is just a thank you for staying at the pub. Yeah. So we hope we've helped you out and that you've got some tips. So please like and subscribe.
As always. Yes.
If you haven't done that already, that would help us out a lot, so we can bring you lots more tips in the future.
And click on the bell icon, thanks too.
That'd be fantastic. All right, and we will see you on our next episode.
Signing off.
See you on the road. Bye.